Alright, here is a mini refresher on what it means to have to find the midpoint using the midpoint formula. So the midpoint formula is given by this formula here, where essentially what we're doing is we are taking the average between our two coordinate points. And what we're doing is we are finding the dead center, or the dead middle of those coordinate points. Now most of the time this is on a line segment. So when we're talking about college algebra or just algebra in general, your line segment could come from just simply giving coordinate points, or it could come from having to find the center of a circle, giving 2 points that are on the outer edge. So regardless of where they're coming from, whether it's a line segment you've been given or a circle, the math is going to be the same. You need 2 coordinate points in order to find the midpoint, and then all you do is plug into the formula. Now here, notice the average says we're going to add between each of the points. So the order, again, does not matter. So if I have these 2 points here, 7 and 7, -2, and then 9, 5, I want to find the midpoint. So to find the midpoint says I simply have to plug into my formula. So it's as simple as x1, y1, x2, y2, plug and chug, away we go. So we're going to start with 7 plus 9, and we have to divide that by 2. We're going to input our comma because that is the formula. And then we have -2 plus 5, and divide that by 2. And this creates our midpoint. So now from here, all you have to do is reduce. So my midpoint, 7 plus 9, is going to be 16 over 2. -2 plus 5 is going to be 3 over 2. When we look at this, 16 over 2 will reduce down to 8. And then 3 over 2 does not reduce, it stays the same. So this would remain as 3 halves. Now, there's a couple really important things that you need to remember when dealing with midpoints. Okay? The first thing is you always want exact answers. So what that actually means is that means for most cases no decimals, which is why we would leave this as 3 halves. The only reason that you would give a decimal answer is if your directions told you to approximate. Since we want to know the exact location of that midpoint, that's usually not the case. So here we are talking about no decimals. The second thing that you always want to make sure you do is you always want to make sure that you reduce or simplify completely. So before you're done, you always need to look at it and you always need to ask, is there anything else that I can do in order to make this smaller? Okay. So there you go. Very quick and short, but that is everything that you would need to know about working with the midpoint formula, regardless of what you're trying to find the midpoint of. Just simply remember, the midpoint is the average of the 2 points that you have been given. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have tons of fun with your math, be sure to relax, and I'll see you next time.